Hello, you're listening to Antennas. My name is Aviva, and we're recording our final episode of our third season of Also Cool Sounds Like. I produce it along with Gwen, Roley, and Also Cool Magazine. And if you want to hear any of our other episodes, look us up on any of the podcast platforms. I'm going to play two songs off the top by Sauvages and Sécurité. So we'll hear Dimension and Dis-moi. La Sécurité and Sauvages. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So you've both been a part of the Montreal music scene for a while, and you just came off of playing M for Montreal last month. Can I get you guys to just introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about the music that you make?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Félix, I've been around for a while. I'm having this band called Sauvages for 10 years going now. And started this band, La Sécurité with Éliane, during the pandemic, since it was so boring and we wanted to, just make some music together. And that's about it. I also produce records. So, yeah, that's what I do.
And my name's Éliane. Besides La Sécurité, these days I actually work in the music industry as a booking agent, my daytime job, but I have been a drummer in other bands in the past 10 years, and I think La Sécurité is the first project that I sing in, so it's kind of nice to try something different.
So you mentioned that you started this band in the pandemic. Can you tell me a little bit more of that origin story of how La Sécurité came to be?
Yeah, I think, like I just said, I mostly drummed in punk influence bands, and I think when Félix and I started seeing each other, I think it was kind of cool for me to show him that world because he didn't know much about it, and I didn't know much about electro and that stuff, so we kind of showed each other our influences, and with all that extra time, which we don't usually have, we kind of just, since we lived together, it was kind of easy to jam and see where things went, and then we kind of just invited some other friends from the music scene to join the group. Yeah.
And do you do a lot of your songwriting together?
It depends on the song. Yeah, I guess most of the English ones I write on my own. I grew up in English Canada, so I went to high school in English, so it's easier for me to write in English than French. And for the French ones, usually I come up with the idea and a basic text, and then Félix helps me rework it a little bit. Except for Dis-moi, actually, the song we just heard, Félix, I had the idea for the song, the theme, and Félix wrote the words that I sing. So it kind of depends on the song, I guess. And I think the more, for the next songs that we're starting to slowly work on, it's a bit more collaborative.
Mm. And there's a couple other members in the band?
Yeah, so we have the pleasure to work with Kenny, David Smith, that also have a project that's called Pressure Pin. It's great post-punk. Laurent San, that's pretty established already on the French side of life in Montreal. That's a self-titled project, Laurent San. Mm-hmm. And Milsa Dimena, that used to play in Metagruo. She's been around for a long time in the scene also. She played Metagruo, Silvered Apple, and then she's currently playing with Jésus les Filles. So yeah.
A lot of history there, yeah.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the songs you've written, and let's talk about the song K9. It's off of the album Stay Safe that came out this summer. It's a bit of a slower track. Is it emblematic of your musical style? Is it kind of typical for the band?
Yeah, I guess I forgot to mention that that's the only song I actually didn't write at all, because that was an old song of Melissa's that she had been hanging on to for a while and had never put out. And we kind of wanted a slow dance, sort of epic, sort of gymnasium prom night kind of shoegazy sound. And we she showed it to me once, and I just always had it stuck in my head, so I thought it had to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I guess it didn't really, it doesn't, compared to the rest of the songs, it's a little bit different, but I think it has its place on there. And I think that it's kind of nice to keep people on their toes.
Yeah, I think you're drawn to these kinds of things. You really like slow jams when it's tasty, of course. But yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's hear K9 by La Sécurité. We just heard Canine by La Sécurité, followed by Pression, which is a Sauvages single recently released. Félix, what went into making this song?
I think it was like a song that we've put aside for a while, since it was really sounding not like anything we did yet, but it was something we really liked, and we didn't know how to make it our own, I'd say, because it came from modular synths, and it was more like it was kind of hard to rework this one, but I think we took another chance at it, and I think we did a good job with it at the end. But it all made sense. Thierry and I, and also Marc-Antoine, really drawn to electronic music as DJs also. So I think this is the one that was kind of a little, German Berlinesque kind of wink. I don't know, to this techno kind of vibe to it. Yeah.
And this is for both of you, but where generally kind of does the desire to create and perform come from each of you? Can you pinpoint it? Is it?
It's kind of hard to pinpoint. I think I've been like putting on shows for the guests at the dinner parties at my house since I was a kid, kind of thing. It's just this deep down just need and like desire to be on stage. As much as I have a dance background as well, so as much as in the performing arts as the music thing is a bit more recent. I think I've been always wanted to be a musician, but I think I didn't actually dabble with it till like my maybe 7-8 years ago.
Do you have like a certain feeling when you're on stage, or is there like something that you seek when you're out performing?
Actually, well, I think it's one of those rare moments that I feel like really in the moment, where there's nothing else going on except what's going on there, like the people in front of me and me in that moment doing the task at hand, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what about for you, Félix?
I don't know. I think ever since I was a teenager, I always loved chaos, and I think a show for me is organized chaos in the respect of everyone. Everyone's feeling different things, but there's like one focus. I don't know. I feel like everyone's coming together, and I like to be the chef d'orchestre of that feeling for everyone. I know I'm not doing this with La Sécurité, but I think, I always liked to just be able to make people lose their minds and just get really wild and animal-like in the respect of each other, of course, again. But and I don't know. I think that's it, and it's really good for my ADHD and anxiety, I guess. It makes me focus a lot. Yeah.
And this is maybe something, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but you're both based here in Montreal. Does Montreal play a role in your music? Does it factor in at all?
Well, I guess. Well, I think that I'm kind of inspired by just the freedom and like the artistic expression of this city in general. I think that's why I moved here almost 15 years ago now. And just sort of this this easy access to culture. I think that just like the booming like creativity, like with everybody that I get to like talk to and hang out with in the artistic scene. I think that it's like pretty inspiring. It just kind of part of like everyday life in a way. So
there's a lot of momentum.
Yes, there you go. That's
and what about
resuming
for you, Félix?
I think I don't seek to be inspired by Montreal, but Montreal seeks to inspire me, I guess. It's something that just like, I don't have ideas for a little while, and then I have a lot of ideas for a short period of time, and I put it all down. Especially for words, writing lyrics and stuff. In French, I think French songwriting is a little bit more hard for me. Well, I guess for both languages, but I mean, like, it can sound really cheesy real quick. So when you want to be proud of your language, of the lyrics you write in your first language, you have to think about it, and it's really hard. And I think Montreal has this way of putting this energy into me in some magical way, I guess. And just it's yeah, I guess that's it.
And let's talk a bit about kind of more of the industry side, but do you feel that you need to categorize your music? Do you feel kind of pressure to do so? Is it easy for you to figure out where your music fits, what genre and category it's in?
No, I don't really pay too much attention to it personally. I mean, I mentioned earlier, I work in the music industry as well, so I understand like why in certain areas why people feel like they need to put it in a certain category, in order to label, and like to sell the product or whatever. And I think this in general, in all aspects, well, with La Sécurité, it's really sort of like a free space to kind of like think outside the box and kind of just do things the way that we want. And like we get sort of put into categories sometimes by like articles or music platforms or whatever, so that, but I guess I'm fine with whatever label you want to put on it, and I don't really pay too much attention to, I don't know, I wasn't like, I want to make a band that is post-punk or art punk. It's just like when you have to like click on what your music is like on Bandcamp or whatever, it's like, I guess this one is like close enough. It's kind of just the way I see it.
I would not have been saying this more perfectly.
Great. So we're going to hear another one. We're going to hear Mort de Peur, another single by Sauvages.
Dans le désert, quand tombera la pluie.
just heard Mort de Peur by Sauvages. Félix, so you also do some producing. How does it feel to produce music for others versus working on your own projects?
It's different, obviously, but thank you. Well, that's it. No, well, I guess I get to choose the project, so I really have to like what I'm producing. So I can't really lie about what I'm doing when you work to another artist. And I think I've done enough studio that I always have ideas, production-wise. So yeah, just really fun to. I think I did it for first because it's inspiring for me after when I go back to making music, and it's just like filling my brain of, oh shit, yeah, you could do that also like this, or figuring out some ways of making new sounds with someone else that I would not have thought of at the first place. But yeah, I really love the studio and the recording process. I feel really at home, and yeah.
Do you love kind of like the satisfaction of it? Or what do you love about being there?
Well, I think when you can hear like a song that was a demo and then that sounds exactly like you had in mind, or not at all, but all it sounds like is made of amazing errors and trials and stuff. I think it's really satisfying in that way. It's basically like doing your own music, but with someone else. It becomes your own at some point when you work so like intimately with another musician or artist. I think yeah, you're just part of the band for a second, and it feels really fun. If the band's good, you know. Never worked with someone shitty though, so that's nice.
It'll be a whole other journey. Okay, so let's talk a bit about success in music. How do you define it for yourselves? I know there's a lot of ways to measure it. You know, there's a lot of ways to measure it, of course. But what does it mean for you?
I guess it's it's your music reaching like X amount of people, I guess, in a way. I mean, I'm not much for like stats. I mean, it's always kind of nice being like, oh, like this many people in this country listened to your song this week. Like, I do like peek a little bit on the platforms, like when I get the numbers or whatever. But I mean, I think it's sort of more of like a personal like journey in a way, or like a band journey of, you know, like playing more and more shows and having that chemistry on stage. But I mean, obviously the fact that we're getting invited to go out and play in like other countries or other cities, I mean, it means that some people are listening, which is cool, and I'm really grateful for that. So does that answer the question?
Yeah, for sure. And Félix, you've been at it for about at least 10 years. How do you define success?
I think it's, well, when you're still having fun doing it, I guess it never came out of the deal for me. I guess when people show up at your shows, here or somewhere else, and I guess I think success for me is really important as in being part of this living, breathing scene here. And when you're just part of it and you can feel that you're actually helping to mold it to the new era that's coming, I think that's part of being successful. You just, you know, yeah, I guess like when you can feel that you're like the bubbles in a 7-Up, like you're still like pétillant and stuff, you know, and relevant, and your ideas are still moving people. It's an exchange. So if you move someone with your music, I guess that's success for sure. It's cheesy, but it's true.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I think something that I get a huge kick out of is, especially in festival shows like this summer, seeing young women mostly, or young kids, like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds in front of shows, really having a blast and coming up to us at the merch table. And like, in that case, I just give them a t-shirt. Because to me, I'm just like, that's big to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we don't have too much of these people because you're gonna bankrupt us.
That happened like twice. But like, you know.
I've also heard that buying merch is one of the best ways to support musicians.
When you buy it,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're a cool 10-year-old and you like my music, you can just have a shirt.
Okay, well, let them all know. And do you feel the need to promote your music in a certain way is in a way that's marketable, or do you just no? You feel like you set your own agenda?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
We have the chance to have like Milsa, that's a visual artist also. So I guess this band is like doing the songs that we want to hear, and she puts the visual, like we all love what she does, and then it's just for marketing. There's just like her thing that the label use after. It's really easy that way, I guess.
I think you can kind of feel the difference between artists that are sort of like meaning to fit in a sort of like, oh, we're like an indie rock band, and like kind of just like textbook, like, you know, like make like having a visual that looks like what's kind of in at that moment and stuff. I'm not, that's fine, but I think that that's not us. Yeah. I think we kind of just like, this is what we like it or don't. Like, cool.
So yeah, my next question is like, is there a difference between like your musical performance and your promotional performance?
That's a really good question.
And like, where can you draw the line? Does it feel different when you're doing something for promotion or you're just performing?
What do you mean by promotion?
I guess like, you know, maybe there's social media, there's like photo shoots, there's music videos.
Well, for La Sécurité anyways, I mean, maybe it's different a bit for Sauvages, but with us, no, it's all pretty, like, we keep it pretty DIY. If you've had a chance to see our videos, it's mostly all like footage that we took on the road with a film camera, and then we did a montage on iMovie.
Yeah.
That, or like, no, our stories are pretty sort of the same, I think, attitude that I have on stage, which is just kind of like, I don't know, like, just it's pretty like silly, I guess, and just kind of, without kind of very, very like spur of the moment, and
I think if it's funny to us, I think it's worth going out there. This is basically how it works in this band. We're like, oh, that's really funny on camera. Let's make a story. She's really good at this. I hate doing this. I hate doing it for Show Sauvage, so we hired people to do it, and but it's useful. I know, I understand that, but but like for La Sécurité, yeah, especially like if it's stupid or funny or lovely,
like stupid, but just sort of like,
No,
you
but
know,
like
innocent,
silly.
spur of the moment, like sharing our inside jokes, and I think that kind of just. Think I've heard before that we seem like accessible as humans when we meet people and stuff, and I think that's just because it's kind of just there's no front.
And the whole thing started like with stay safe, and the whole thing like be careful, don't hurt yourself, like, you know, like all these shitty video you could see like in high school about like be careful about this, and they would show you a movie, and it reminds me of this. It remembers me of this time, you know.
So there's not much of a difference between your like persona as a band and your real persona. No.
Really. I think maybe it's just a tiny bit amplified. I think it's kind of like a nice place to release like all that extra energy like on stage, but no, it's pretty similar.
And as someone who works in the industry as well, do you kind of see that pressure for other bands, like the need to do the social media, the need to kind of like, how do you think about that pressure?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting seeing different bands, like some that have more of our approach, and others that kind of, you know, like label sometimes, like if they're representing a band, they're sort of like nicely sort of telling them what they should be doing, and it's kind of interesting seeing those people that are like, oh, okay, yes, is this okay? Is this the kind of video you wanted me to make? And even to a point where labels are telling them like, you need to have another album out by this point, and like, I mean, creativity doesn't really work that way. So yeah, there is definitely a pressure, and I think it's up to like, I think in a way I'm kind of grateful to understand both sides of the thing, and that even makes me want to kind of not rebel against it, but just like not pay attention to it in this project.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine it's different if you're coming up at like 18, 19 right now.
Oh yeah,
You know?
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. 'Cause I guess I have all those years of like DIY punk shows in the early 2000s. Like that's kind of, I think that's where my brain formed
Mm-hmm.
or something. So
Yeah.
kind of just sticking to that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's like a line to be drawn between using it as a tool. Like I think social media is really a tool for artists, but when you become a slave to it and you let the social media work, when you work for the social media, I think this is where you kind of lost it a little, and you can regroup and like, how is this tool helping you instead of trying to
Mm-hmm.
go with what you should, because there's no way of doing things in music or in art in general, especially if you use social media as a tool or streaming platforms. So yeah.
Well, technically, there's like a formula, and like it's evolving all the time, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna work for
Yeah.
you.
Of course.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's good to be able to like improvise and also think for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can make whatever you want on social media, and there's no, I guess, way of doing it that's better. It's like lottery, you know. It's just
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's hear another tune. Let's hear Sleepy Rebellion by La Sécurité.
I shut tight, but my body won't listen. No place for rest in this sleepy rebellion. I tiptoe around solutions unfound, stuck with the fact that my ups bring me down. A cloud-shaped trick, and I'm its master. A quick fix for a natural disaster. And I tiptoe around solutions I found, stuck with the fact that my ups bring me down. Who cares who wins? Who cares who's tough? Tough love's enough to keep asleep. The need to reap all that is good. I'll shine the way the daytime would. Who cares who wins? Who cares who's tough? Tough love's enough to keep asleep. The need to reap all that is good. I'll shine the way the daytime would.
You just heard Sleepy Rebellion by La Sécurité. So thinking back to last month to M for Montreal, what was it like playing that show?
That show was fun. Yeah, it was hot. We were playing like quite late in the evening, so it kind of feels funny, that stage, because it's like you kind of feel like you're like on display, like in the like the corner of the room, and the stage is like so high up. But the energy was like really, really intense and fun, and the place was like full, and the lineup was really fun. Like I think like our good friend CDSM from Atlanta. It's always nice getting a chance to play with them. Yeah, it's all like label buddies and plus Population 2 that were invited to come play with us. So yeah, it was a good way to. That was like our last sort of like Montreal show for a while, and definitely went out with a bang. Did you want to add anything?
I had a blast.
Cool.
And on that note, so you're going to hunker down a bit, keep doing some writing. But what's coming up next for you both in your different projects?
For Show Sauvage, I think we toured this album. That's the second, like, More Than Plenty. So we need to stop doing shows so we can actually make new music. It would be kind of stupid to play it for years again. So we need more songs. So we're trying to we're talking about recording sometimes in the summer. And for La Sécurité, I guess we're taping 2 singles in February, and that's gonna be coming out sometime.
Yeah, we have another surprise coming out. Here, exclusive little. We had like a remix album. We've asked like 5 or 6 artists to do remixes of songs on our record, and we also asked a visual artist to remix the sleeve. So I'm not going to name drop anybody yet, but there's some pretty like fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with our songs. So there's that, and we have quite a bit of touring planned for next year, but not here. We're going to Europe for a good amount of time, and we're also going back to South by Southwest and doing a few shows in New York as well next year. So it's going to be fun.
Is there any sort of feelings or emotions or concepts that are driving your writing right now?
I do have a little list of topics in my phone, and then I try to assign them to the jams that we're doing. Like there's one about not knowing how to tell a friend that you don't like their cat. I don't know if that's going to make it on the record. Probably not. But like, yeah, there's also, I think there's one that's kind of taking form right now that's about like having to adult your parents, or like parents acting like kids. It's very random, but I think the other one was a bit sort of like darker, not dark, but just sort of like, yeah, I guess it was more serious, I guess, and like in the themes. Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of silly too, but
multifaceted.
Like, yeah, I guess there was a lot, like about like women expressing themselves and taking their place, and like don't bother me, and like Kenny's late again, and this one I think is gonna. No, Kenny is late again. Yeah, this next one I think is a bit not like completely goofy silly, but I guess my real answer is no.
Okay, so a lot of different strands, different thoughts.
Yeah, something will tie it all together eventually, I think.
Okay, well, I can't wait to hear what's coming up next, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, it was a big pleasure. This season of Also Cool Sounds Like is hosted, produced, and edited by me, Aviva Lessard, and Gwen Roley, in collaboration with Also Cool Magazine. Shout out to the Also Coolers Malika Astorga, Zoe Argyropoulos Hunter, Holly Hiltz, and Rebecca Judd for their support. Our intro music is by Jacob Lessard, and the show's artwork is designed by Vasco Cavallero. Check out the magazine at alsocoolmag.com or on Instagram at alsocoolmag. We'll include a link to La Sécurité and Show Sauvages music in the show notes. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen, and if you'd like to be featured on the show or want to recommend an artist, email us at podcast@alsocoolmag.com. Thanks so much for listening.